Hi guys, welcome back to Budget Bushcraft. My name's BK. I was going to do an outdoor review today of my entire cook set for car camping, camping, hiking, backpacking, through hiking, you name it. It all comes in one piece and can be divided into a bunch of others. But as you can see here in central Indiana, we got about 6 inches of snow in just about 8 hours. So let's just go take this one back into the house. Okay folks, this right here is basically my entire car camping, friends and family, complete cook set. And I'll try to keep this all in frame for you. We'll talk about this one a little bit later. Obviously, we're going to have pancakes, whatever. We're going to have a handle, and this is just a T-foul, Walmart. I'll put prices of everything in here, and I'll also include weights. This is going to be for when you've got a group of people. Not everybody wants to bring everything. You probably share the weight on this a little bit. I've obviously taken the handle off the end of this. This does not come off, but it also adds for if you have like a silicone thumb and finger grip, you can grab a hold of this. You don't necessarily need to have the actual pot grabber, but this does come in handy with another piece that's within here. Works pretty well. And we're going to set that one aside for the moment and concentrate on the second and smaller, slightly smaller group. Maybe you're not going to fry something. We have a secondary complete kit for just a few days, maybe less people. And then we will cover the uses of this vegetable strainer, which I've basically just covered on a high temp 2000 degree paint. This will catch, especially if you're in a no burn zone, or a lot of people use like aluminum foil patches, which I didn't want to pack into this kit. This only weighs a few ounces. Again, I'll put some weights in here a little bit later, but with the standoff, you can actually burn wood in here to the point where you can set, obviously without the cover, but you can set that on top of it and have the wood burning. Most of your coals are going to catch within sight of this small pan, which I think came from like a chocolate mint bark from a Christmas tin. Again, we'll cover some other uses of this in a little bit. Set that aside for the moment. And we're going to discuss the main kit, which again, this isn't what I would be taking if I were on a 3 or 4 day backpacking trip. Still slightly more of a car camping kit, but I would do this solo for maybe 3 to 4 days. Let's get the stuff sack off of this. I have another stuff sack that I've made out of Tyvek, which has a little bit larger area for putting some spices and extra coffee and things like that on it. But I'm not going to go over making a cozy. There's 100 videos out there, or koozie, however you want to refer to that, that cover how to make these. It's basically just a Reflectix material and some heat type of tin tape or ductwork tape. Alright, so we'll take the top off of this, and I'll cover everything after we get it out of here. You can see that this all actually nests within inside of itself. Pull the lid out of here. This is the lid to the Imusa pot. I've just taken the plastic handle off of it just for fear of it melting, and just put basically a simple eyelet in here. And then again, I didn't cover this to protect it from the fire. I covered this in the black to kind of help maintain the heat. This is a GSI knockoff from Walmart. It was like $3 and change. Again, I'll include all the prices of all this and the weights included. Typically, this is my drinking vessel. If I didn't want to have the cozy, which is actually for beer, I believe, um, I could use the silicone coated handles, which are still intact here as far as the mounting of them, as well as these do fit on the Esbit set, which I will also post a picture of. This is a 5-piece Esbit set, which includes an alcohol stove and as well as the Esbit burner. This does work with both. This is just a tin lid that I made with a Kydex screw for when you're making Kydex sheaths and things. I'll post another video of doing some of that later. And then just wrapped it with some of that tin tape to keep the heat from it. Snaps on there nicely, doesn't come off. The cozy itself is plenty enough protection to keep you from burning your lips if you want to use this just as a drinking vessel. Inside of that, I should mention, is my gas canister, which is typically the 110 gram one. I also cut a small scrubby sponge that does not have the sponge. It's just the scrubby stuff that will fit inside of here, normally to keep the rusting, which you can see has already started happening here. I might coat that with wax and then put it inside of a plastic bag if you're going to sit down inside of here. The stove that I have is the BRS titanium, as well as a mini Bic lighter. Normally I carry a ferro rod, but just in the event that I run out of fuel, get this opened up here. Sometimes this takes a little finagling, but as you can see, this will sit down on top of the canister, and once that's been lit, you can either heat up just something for coffee or hot chocolate. This is typically what I would take maybe on a singular day hike, maybe an overnight, and I just want something to drink or heat up some soup. For a moment. This is the 800, I'm sorry, milliliter pot that comes with that Esbit kit. Though what I found was not only does this nest in here very well, I also bought an Imusa pot, which is basically just a grease pot from Walmart, and I have attached an adjustable bail so that I could hang this from a tripod over a fire, or just a lean stick for boiling water, possibly cooking some stew inside, something like that. Again, all this stuff nests in the very bottom of this. But I did find an interesting item with nesting this inside of here, is that as it fits, there's literally about this much space between the bottom of the Imusa pot and the Esbit pot, which makes perfect for dry baking. You don't have to put rocks in the bottom to separate the gap in it. Now, if you wanted to bake something in this, I would definitely suggest coming up with a way to raise the bottom of it. Also, the Imusa pot lid fits perfectly on top of the Esbit. Okay, let's talk about the cozy for a second. Again, you guys can look up how to make these. It's pretty simple. This one happens to have a double lining here and a double lining on the bottom. The Imusa pot can be placed inside of this with your hot liquid, if you want to keep your water hot for a while, if you want to keep your soup, your food, if you want to do a dehydrated meal, put the bag down inside of that. a lid on it, and this acts basically as a single layer cozy. It is double layered here and double layered here, so you don't get cold from the ground coming up through it, and you keep the heat from escaping more from the top of it. This particular one, I made sure that fit the Esbit pot as well. There's a little bit of gap on either side of it, but it's still going to keep it nice and warm because that actually is making it double layered all the way around and on top and on bottom at this point. And if we want, we could put our hot cocoa or our hot soup or anything that we were going to kind of drink off of inside of here. And again, we've got a double layer at the top and the bottom and on the sides at this point. Okay, now we're going to talk about this wonderful, wonderful piece of equipment. Basically, this is a portable fire grate that I am simply going to assemble rather than bore you with the actual details of putting it together, and we'll take a look at this in combination with a couple other things. So this wonderful thing inside of that singular tube is basically a stainless steel grate, stainless steel legs, and powder coated aluminum grill. Again, I'll include the weight, but what we can do with this is either set this directly over a campfire, or if we have a burn restriction, or in another video I'm going to include a tree stand that I've made out of essentially an aluminum baking sheet. We can have a small fire here, controlling the flames, and we can put our frying pan on top of this, or we can put one of our cook pots on top of this, at which point I would direct the flame below it more, or have it wide open if you'd like. And it all collapses back inside of this one tube. And it makes an incredibly stable table as well, which will be a part of my tree stand project that I'm working on at the moment, with this being the baking tray, and actually being able to cook underneath it. So basically that's everything that I would have for car camping, just camping, backpacking, hiking, through hiking, or anything else that I just decided to get out and enjoy. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video or any of the other ones, don't forget to like or subscribe. Comment below. It'll be down here. Just remember, get out and enjoy this, and don't spend a lot of money.